All right.
When they don't see anybody, then that does make a difference. But when they look out there and they see that place is full,
All right, there we go.
they know that's an important case. All right, folks, here we are. Michael Cargill. Woo! Ain't been out in a while because he's really into busy stuff. And Gavino. Anyway, we do have some things to say before we get started. Right? Here it comes now.
I'm not talking. You.
All right, I will. Give it here because, as I was
Better
just
hurry
saying
up
when
before
we
it
started,
disappears.
oops, there it is, I got it. You went past.
It starts right here.
There it is, all right. As we're just saying, when you have these court cases, yeah, I like your shirt too. You wear that just on Michael's, in honor of Michael.
Now
here.
you can have it.
Yeah, a skeleton hair with a pistol locked open last round.
I like that.
Now you can have it. With these court cases, if you get people in there,
Read it before it goes black.
Laura Presley's election case oral arguments to Third Court of Appeals. The oral arguments are scheduled for April 27th, 1 p.m. at Price Daniel Building, Senior Building, 209 West 14th Street, room 101. Where's the time? I thought it said it. Did I already say it?
You already said it.
1 p.m.
Ow, give me my phone.
Hey, turn up the oxygen a little higher. Maybe that'll help. Or maybe it's already been too high. So that's the one thing I wanted to press because it is. If
You have to come around this way to see.
come on over here. Oh,
No, just go around that way to see.
these whether you like what you're doing or not, with the elections, if you don't have voter integrity and election integrity, what the hell you got? I mean,
Right.
what the heck you got?
Oh, okay, right.
You know?
Yeah, and
Excuse my language there.
She's having a little tough fight there, because I think that some people said there were some voter irregularities that were taking place in this last election. So, she definitely has there's something there.
Well, on my flyer, I mentioned the Houston fire there back in '09, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And why didn't that just raise the? I mean, they said, "Oh, there's something wrong with these machines. We're going to go look at them tomorrow."
Yeah.
And that night, they all burned down.
Oh, wow.
and right now the inquiry into this whole issue has gone from local to basically national because of the vending machine operators or vendors.
All I know is that it's really easy for me to create a program, to tap into something, to change it to where it fits what I want it to fit. It's very simple and very easy. So
That means somebody could
Well,
easily.
that further up north, west in Oregon, they vote by email. They have a 2-week period where you vote.
I
And
like
you-
the
you
idea
vote through email.
of using the new technology, but I'm beginning to think
so-
just going back to paper.
Yeah. Well, we do, but today's young voters,
there
of
should be a way.
25, 35, our way of voting is antique, if you will, and
Just like us, huh?
yeah. Well, but if I don't know, but
I got to remember who
the more technology savvy we get,
Yes, sir.
if you could get stopped and be identified and know who you are, where you come from, where you're at, and all this other good stuff, it should be the same process should be able to be used to identify yourself, when you want to vote.
Well, I know
know.
Richard Franklin also had some concerns about his race recently here.
Well, you and
he's
I,
in a runoff election, correct?
No, Richard Franklin's not.
He's not?
5 people or something in that race. One of them won.
you.
Oh, I
and
thought it was a runoff.
No.
Oh, he didn't? Oh, okay.
You
No,
and
he's not
I
in a
have
runoff.
worked the elections before,
Yeah.
so we know that they're not the end result is not 100%.
That's true.
Because
it's
some
a
people
known that it's
back
not.
out. They back out from the vote. They decide they don't want to
They
vote.
don't.
Some people
Some
they're
don't.
in there and say, well, you know what? All of a sudden, I decided I want to.
Not to
you
go
know.
off on elections on your show here, but
No,
but
no,
it is
no.
an important thing.
Right.
Elections are very important because
go ahead.
no, especially locally.
Yeah.
That's very important because that's what affect us the most. Things that happen locally, and sadly, as it is, this here we are in Travis County in Austin. The the Travis County Democratic Party, they can put a dead person in a seat, and that dead person will win office. That's just how people are not really paying attention to what happens in elections.
This whole cycle seems kind of weird with, we elected Merle for our chair.
Well,
Man.
again, that's one of the true fruits of democracy. As long as you go through the democratic process, we may not get the end result that we as individually or as a group or.
But
Thought
we
you
made,
did?
we made our bid, so
But we
must-
made, that's right.
We need to lay in.
That's right.
But
So
did we have a fair election?
early vote,
it was well.
It was weird.
early vote starts April 25th.
Yes, and we will be on the air April 25th with Uber. That's next week.
Right. So
Don Zimmerman is going to be here, and maybe, I think I called the Democrat Party today, and they might send over the communications director. I didn't get his name.
So what's the insight on that? So Uber, are other taxi companies having to pay some type of tax or something?
I don't know.
well,
They
it's
gotta
that,
get,
it's that the taxis that are run by a corporation as well. It's all a corporation fight.
Right.
And it's all about the market, and it's all about.
And the
Well,
I like the Uber. I like
Well-
Uber and Lyft. Here's why. The reason I like Uber and Lyft because I don't have to worry about standing on the side of the road trying to flag down a taxi and worrying about that taxi discriminating against me because I'm black. I'm sick of hearing, so many different stories of, blacks or Hispanics standing on the side of the road trying to catch a taxi and them driving by and ignoring us. So I like Uber and Lyft because
or
I
having
can,
to wait an hour for a taxi to show up.
exactly. I can call for Uber and Lyft and they'll be there in like 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes the
And
most.
see, that's the thing, that this issue is market driven,
Yeah.
consumer driven.
The people are
and
responding, and
the
the fact that people are responding, guess what? Supply and demand.
The American Statesman is running a poll right now, and over 700 people have participated, and it was winning by 58%.
Yeah, that's what happens when
know.
you run your business as a racist business. Now you got Uber and Lyft comes in. They're like,
Yeah.
we don't care about racism. Your money's still green.
well,
So,
racist
I
business,
like
but all
Uber
the
and
taxi
Lyft.
drivers
No.
are Nigerian
No.
or something like that.
No.
So
So my question to me, this is one of those where government really,
overstep.
overgoes and on beyond, because like I said, this is market driven. This is a consumer driven thing.
But you
And
want to make
like
sure
you
that your
just mentioned-
drivers.
But like you
But
mentioned,
yeah.
right? But see, when I haven't used it before,
Yeah.
so, but when you request it, you get the individual's name, the car, and,
Picture even, huh?
and whatnot. Now you as the individual then decide, well, I want to or I don't want to. Okay, so it's like I was saying the other day as we're having this discussion. I called my cousin, hey, I want to ride to Walmart. Well, he's gonna charge me. He's
Yeah.
gonna do it free.
Right.
So is that what government wants to do now? Regulate that?
And just like today, I'm at my office. I'm on the south side of Austin. My sister, she's on the north side there. So I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna send an
Tell
Uber,
her. Say tell.
to pick her up and meet me here. So
Yes.
I sent an Uber to pick her up and met me here. We arrived like 2 minutes apart, and it works great.
It's
I can't do that with
convenience.
a
Oh.
taxi cab. There's no way.
No.
Can't do that. So hey, you know what? Customer service.
So you're going to have to come back next week for the Uber show as well, I guess.
Yeah, they just
No.
need to get it together.
Yeah, and like I said, of all the things that this city, all the issues this city has to deal with,
Yeah,
and
that's
all
true.
the challenges, we have a government, a majority of city council that is spending and waste so much time. For 2 years, they operated, and it wasn't an issue. For
And
2
no-
years.
And now you have the taxi cabs. They're probably going to reconsider changing some of their prices. This is market driven.
Well,
This
it is.
this
It's competition.
This is business, exactly.
It's competition, and like I said, we have the 2 nickel, and I know that in our communities, our neighborhoods, we go to HEB, there's somebody waiting. Hey, you need a ride home, yeah, or they call somebody. There's an if you will, underground service where you just call somebody and they come pick you up, and they take you wherever you're gonna go for a set
Yeah.
price.
Absolutely.
Yet government has nothing to do with that.
Right.
So to me, this unfortunate posturing by our city council is just like the same
That's
old.
because the Austin City Council, they're getting money from the taxi cabs, and so the taxi cabs are trying to, get them to vote in their, their direction.
But
their
I
way.
think that this is another demonstration of individuals that won an election and are utilizing that role that they're in to go over and beyond the call of what they were elected
And
for.
it's sad because, here we are in Austin, and you have, 2 o'clock in the morning, the bar is closed, people are looking for a ride. This cuts down on drunk driving. This cuts down on DWI. So, this is a great thing. Uber and Lyft is a wonderful thing in this town. There's no way that the taxi companies can keep up when we have MotoGP, we have the X Games, all these little different events that we have here, South by Southwest.
UT.
Yeah, exactly. UT football game, the same time there's a F1 race. There's no way that taxi cab companies can keep up with this. So we need Uber and Lyft, and they're cutting down on drunk driving in this town. Because I tell you what, accidents are increasing in the state of Texas.
We push for 10-1, we push for a single-member district, and there's that old saying, be careful what you ask for, because you don't know what you're going to get. But that's kind of the point that I'm driving to, because they're also taking a very strong stance based on their political opinion versus the law, and that's the issue that you've been fighting, debating with them over carrying a gun in the city hall. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah,
Can you
absolutely.
talk to us a little bit about that? Where's that at?
Well, we had Senate Bill 273 that actually passed the legislature, and it went into effect September the 1st, 2015. And what Senate Bill 273 does is it gives a regular citizen the opportunity to bring up a complaint against a city or municipality or state agency that's not following the law. The law meaning allowing a license holder to actually carry a handgun inside the building. So, and we're talking license holders. We're talking the people that are the most law-abiding people that we have here in the state of Texas. License holders. So and just so people know, license holders are the most law-abiding people that we have. They're responsible for less than 0.25% of all convictions in the state of Texas. Less than 0.25%. So license holders they're not the ones that are actually committing the crimes. So what we're saying is these people here, license holders that are licensed to carry a handgun, that have been vetted, that can carry in banks, movie theaters, grocery stores, everywhere else in the state of Texas.
More background check to taxi drivers?
Exactly. We're saying these people here that actually can carry in the Texas State Capitol, where all our laws are made. People say, well, we don't want them to carry in City Hall because we have some very heated debates in City Hall. Well, you know what? It doesn't get much heated.
They get us more heated than
at Texas State Capitol.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where all our laws for the entire state are made, it gets very heated there. So these same people that can carry in the Texas State Capitol should be able to carry in the building of City Hall. Okay, we're not saying in the chamber where City Council is meeting. We're saying in the building and different offices and those places like that. Now, what the city of Austin is saying, they're saying, hey, one day out of the month, they actually have a community court that actually meets at City Hall one day out of the month. Now, because of that community court, they're saying that they are now a courthouse. All of a sudden, they changed the name of the building. It's not City Hall anymore. It's a courthouse. Okay, we're talking about the community court that actually meets on 6th Street. Their address, if you go to their website, is actually 6th Street, which is about less than a block away from I-35. That community court, that's right there.
I've been there.
I haven't been there, but I've seen it. I've passed by there.
So that's the building they're talking about. That court meets at City Hall one day out of the month, and they conduct some type of court session. Well, the way the law is written, it doesn't say premises. It actually says court or offices utilized by the court. So that means that they can actually prohibit you from carrying in that room where the court session is taking place. They cannot prohibit you from carrying in the entire building. So what I'm asking for is the city of Austin to follow the law. You know how we have laws? We have speeding, you can't go over the speed limit. We have, different little laws we have in the state of Texas. Well, that I have to follow as a citizen. So we're saying those same, laws like that. I want our government agencies to follow the law that we have here in the state of Texas.
And so what's the outcome? Where are we at? I know that.
So where we're at now, I've actually filed a complaint with the Texas Attorney General's office. I notified the city of Austin, filed a complaint with the AG, and the AG responded by saying that, okay, Austin, they admitted that they were wrong in the beginning and took their sign down. The sign, right, there's a sign 30.06 that says that license holders cannot carry. Well, they took that sign down, but now what they're doing is they're giving us verbal notice. They're saying, you know what? When you walk into the building, we're going to tell you verbally that you can't carry because we're a courthouse. And that's still under 3.06, or it's 4603. 4603 is the list of places that are prohibited for anyone to carry a gun. So under that section of the Texas Penal Code, they're using that, and I'm saying, hey, no, you can't do it. That's illegal. That it goes against the law, because you're not a courthouse or offices utilized by the court except for one day out of the month. So license holders should be able to carry there. So now I've filed another complaint with the AG's office, and I've informed the AG and the city of Austin that you're now giving me verbal notice telling me that I cannot carry in that building with a handgun license, and that is illegal. So now what I'm asking for is the AG to come back and rule on my side. Once they do, then we'll see if the Austin's going to actually comply. If they don't, then it's going to go to court, and we're going to take this all the way. So we're going to take them to court, and if they do not comply, then they're going to be fined.
And you're going to fill up that courtroom.
Exactly. They can be fined up to $1,000 to $1,500 per day for the first day, up to $10,000 or $10,500 for every subsequent day. Now, people ask, what about those funds? Where does that money go for that fine? Well, that goes to our Texas roads, and I think we need some more roads in the state of Texas, so I don't care about fining the city of Austin.
Yeah, they're going to just raise our taxes.
I was going to say the sad part is that we're the ones that.
Yeah, we're the
And
ones
this is
that
the
want
other
to
thing
pay
that
for
I
it.
say is that what's interesting here is that we have subordinates that work for us putting these challenges and these costs because they, as individuals, interpret it with their own political twist.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the law is pretty clear, black and white, and but it's, if we allow them to continue to behave that way, then yeah, we're going to get what we don't stand up for.
That's
you
true.
know. And
So thank you, Michael Cargill.
And it
That
really
sure wouldn't be.
it goes along with a lot of different things. It goes along with when you're trying to get something done, where you're trying to get your parade, the 4th of July
Yeah.
parade. They treat one group one way and another group the other way. They're not being fair. They're not being fair. They're not following just the fair business practice at all. And in this case, they're not following the law. I'm asking them to follow the law. The state of Texas has said this is what the law is. And then every city and municipality needs to follow that. If I don't follow the law, I get ticketed, I get fined, I will go to jail.
I was going to say they're the enforcers of the law, so
Exactly.
they
So this is, we're not going to play this game of do as I say, not as I do.
That's good.
Well, and you mentioned the state capitol because at first I kind of was thinking the same way, but not necessarily that they're heated debates and therefore you shouldn't have a gun. But then when you mentioned the capitol, that kind of rang a bell, and I said, hey, wait a minute. They are allowed to carry guns
absolutely.
in the state
You
capitol.
can carry in the
So
Texas
why is
openly or concealed. You can carry a gun openly
So
or
why
concealed.
is this
in the Texas Capitol.
municipality unique, in
Because
that?
it's the heart of the the Democratic Party, and they're going to hold on to it as much as they can. Well, you know what? I'm going to stand at the door and I'm going to keep my foot on their throat.
What do other cities do? San Antonio, Dallas? Do we know?
Same thing. Dallas
City
is
halls?
Dallas is actually trying to do the same thing in their building, and actually the AG has already ruled that the Dallas needs to remove their sign, and they're refusing to remove their sign. And so what Dallas is doing, Dallas is saying, you know what, we're going to take you to court. So we're going to see how that works out in court. We're taking this all the way. We will take this all the way to the Texas Supreme Court if we need to.
Sounds like a plan. Other things you've worked on a lot was campus carry.
Yes. So we worked on campus carry, which is where license holders can actually carry inside of a building of a college campus. Now, we finally won this one. We finally got this actually passed. This is something that we've been working on for, I think like 10 years, like several sessions. We worked on trying to get campus carry passed. That is so that license holders, like I said again, people that actually can carry a handgun in the state of Texas with a handgun license, who are the most law-abiding people that we have in the state of Texas, those people we're saying should be able to carry a handgun inside of a building of a college campus. Now, we're talking 21 and up, and people that have a handgun license. So this will go into effect August the 1st of 2016. So on August the 1st of 2016, anyone that has a handgun license or a license from a state that Texas recognizes will be able to carry a handgun inside of a building at a college campus. Now, August the 1st of 2016 is the 50th anniversary of the Charles Whitman shooting at the UT Tower.
No matter what the Some of the college professors, I understand, are not happy about this.
Oh, so you have your gun-free UT. You have your
Carry dildos
New
instead,
Yorkers,
yeah,
New Yorkers
yeah.
Against Gun Violence. Your Mad Moms Demand Action. Those organizations like that. They're fighting against this. Well, you know what? It's already passed. The House has already signed off on it. The Senate has already signed off on it. The governor has signed it. It will become law on August the 1st of 2016. It will go into effect. That's going to be for your public universities like UT University. The majority of that campus with a handgun license, a person will be able to carry a handgun inside of a building of the UT campus. Now, the UT, what they can do is they can actually name certain buildings that you cannot carry a handgun inside. So for those certain buildings, they're going to have to post a 30.06 sign. A 30.06 sign that says that you cannot take a concealed handgun, on that property, or in that building. So they're going to post that sign at those certain buildings. But for the majority of the UT campus, a person with a handgun license will be able to carry inside of a building of the UT campus.
And that ought to do for the ACC as well.
Now, ACC is going to be a little different. Also, private universities are different. So like Baylor University is a private university.
St. Edwards.
So for Baylor, St. Edwards, they can actually name every building that a person cannot carry in. So what they're going to have to do is post a 30.06 sign at each building. And really nothing changes. That's the same as it is today. They can allow people to carry on that campus right now if they wanted to, but they choose not to. So that portion of it really doesn't change at all. So they're except for the fact that they're going to have to post a 30.06 sign at each building now. Now for ACC, your community colleges, they have to wait an extra year. For community colleges, it will go into effect for them August the 1st of 2017. So August 1st, 2017, the person with a handgun license will be able to carry inside of a building of ACC, the community colleges.
With the 2017 legislature just around the corner, what kind of issues do you see facing or being worked at this legislature within in regards to this particular issue and the issue overall of open carry?
I don't see anything changing at all. I don't see us getting much done this next session because with everything that's going into effect happening so late, August 1st, 2016, August 1st, 2017. I think that the legislature is going to sit back and wait and see how
wait
things
and see.
happen. Yeah. Right. Because a lot of people are saying, oh, no, you shouldn't do this. This is the worst thing you can possibly do. These are the same things that people said back in 1995 when we got our concealed handgun license program.
Wild West!
Exactly. In 1995, they said people are going to be pulling up to the red light stop signs, going to be shooting each other. And none of that happened. We have stats that go all the way back from 1995 till, to the present that says, hey, license holders are the good guys. They're the ones that are the most law-abiding people that we have in the state of Texas. They are more law-abiding than police officers.
I can believe that.
Exactly.
So that was one of the questions Maury Gandy wanted to ask you. She's not here tonight because,
Well, going back to now that you mentioned that about the police officers, when they were talking about the safety issue about the fingerprints on Uber and Lyft,
yeah.
and that if they didn't, I said, well, I've known of another ride where they are fingerprinting and they shoot our people.
The firearms issue in the upcoming election cycle. What kind of issues do you think will come up? Will it make an impact?
I think I can see,
Am I articulating properly here the question?
I see, maybe some Democrats maybe bringing up campus carry and saying that this is a bad idea, but they have nothing to stand on. Because here we are, University of Texas. We had a young lady that was raped. She was choked and raped, and it's only a matter of time.
Right there, around the corner from the police station.
Exactly. It's only a matter of time for all the details come out. Exactly. But she was choked and raped on that campus. Okay. Now, sexual assaults on that campus, there are a lot of sexual assaults that have taken place on the UT campus.
Yeah.
So even though, and I know this young lady was not old enough to actually even have a gun, even purchase a handgun. She's not even old enough. She wasn't old enough to do that. Or the other guy as well, the guy that actually committed this heinous crime. He wasn't old enough to actually purchase a gun. But what I'm saying is we need to give people the tools that they need to protect themselves on that campus. While they're walking from that campus to that campus, going from, class or back to their apartment or whatever, they need to have the tools they need to protect themselves.
You know what really concerns me is that in a society of today, we have to go there. That we have to, like you say, be able to provide a free society the tools to be able to, deter or defend.
Well, it's
from
part of
something
being
like
a free
that.
society.
Well, I know,
And
but
it's,
what I'm saying.
it's also because the city of Austin is a sanctuary city, and they refuse to do anything about our homeless problem that we have here. This kid was homeless, he was desperate, and he found, what he thought was his meal ticket, and so he jumped on it. And and that's what happens. What we need is our leaders, our city leaders. Here we are. This is Travis County, the heart of the Democrats in the state of Texas, and we have a homeless problem in this town, and they refuse to do anything about our homeless problem at all. They refuse to, get these people the help that they need, and that is part of the problem.
What was I going to say now? Back to the campus thing. What you're saying about the tools we need, we got to remember now that Texas has changed a lot in the last 10 years. If you look at that, when I grew up, it was 12, 13 million people in the entire state. Mm-hmm. And now you have that many people just along 35 corridor. San Antonio up.
Because we're hitting that, I think we hit that 2 million mark, right?
Yeah.
In the area.
Yeah,
Not
in
the city of
Austin
but
metropolitan
the
area.
metropolitan area, we've hit the 2 million.
It used to be if it took more than 20, 25 minutes to get anywhere in Austin.
Right, not anymore.
Now you can't get anywhere in 20, 25 minutes.
No.
So the tools we
Except
need,
when the
we've
president,
changed a lot.
when the president's in town, we can get.
Oh yeah,
town.
then they just block all the roads.
Yeah, I actually love when the president, when he's in town. Let me tell you, I can make it from South Austin, North Austin in about 5 minutes.
Is that right? How do they do that? They got all the roads blocked.
Oh man, you can do 100 miles an hour. They're all so busy protecting the president.
That's
They're
true.
not worried about
Yeah,
the speed.
yeah, they use
Well, maybe-
big time overtime.
May-
Just
may-
joking.
When Clinton came in one time.
Oh no, here we go. Come on,
We got
Mom.
stuck on 71.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah, we got stuck on
never
Highway
jump on 71.
Well, we were on the inside lane. We didn't know they were going to do this to us.
They just decided to block
So,
all the road and make everybody
anyways,
pull over.
Pokey here wanted to get out and give him the old finger salute. I told him, don't do that.
Yeah.
Turn around, go like this, and give him the doggy salute. So we did the doggy salute at him, and you could see him looking at the car like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like, hey, we thought we got away with
Him
it.
and Hillary both was out there looking at us, doing the doggy salute.
And she probably
too.
swore up and down someone was shooting at her.
Yeah, that's the comeback.
But we stood there, and when they came to us, right to us, we turned around and doggy saluted them.
Yeah.
Did the old sprag with the feet, and they didn't know what to do.
Well, I still, I'm kind of locked socially with the Andy Griffin kind of
Well,
policing type of form. So, I personally have never owned a gun. I've never.
And a gun is not for everybody.
Right.
Not everyone should own a gun.
'cause-
You know,
Because my temperament, you think,
yeah, maybe not for you.
and that's one of the things that I
No,
cover
but-
in my class. You know, a gun is not for
So-
everybody. Everybody shouldn't have a gun, and maybe there's some other things that you need to do instead of carrying a gun. And for one, that gun should be your final option.
Yeah.
That should be your
Hold on here a minute.
option.
Hey, Mom, what was that anger management movie we seen the other day with, who was that in there? Maybe that's what Gavino needs. That was a funny-ass movie with, anyway. Anger management is called.
But it's not like. But another one is like
I know you
the
ain't
body
done that.
cameras that APD supposedly is not gonna
Yeah.
The truth cameras.
get into it and everything. Again, to me, it
Brings
raise,
honesty to work.
it raises the issue. We shouldn't even have to go there. We shouldn't even.
You
We
know,
should
we have
have officers on the force that should not have to be compelled to wear a camera
All right.
to show. To
Show
show.
what they're doing.
Yeah, what they're doing. But again, once
9 out of 10 times, it'll show what's being done to them.
right, but it's I don't know.
We did have the chief on last week.
You're a public official. There should be no reason why you shouldn't, wear a body cam or anything like that because you're working for the public. So
Right.
you're there to protect and serve. There's no reason why the public shouldn't be able to see you while you're at work because you're a public official. Right.
Well, if
So-
you go back to the Andy Griffith part, you shouldn't really worry about your. Like the chief said when he was here, it's sad when the kids aren't, they're scared of the cops. How did this happen?
That happened because the way they're responding, the
Wait
way they interact with the public.
You know who I blame for all this, don't you?
Who?
Democrat trailers.
Yeah, because if we had our Austin police officers that actually lived in the neighborhoods where they're supposed to work, I think it would change the atmosphere a little bit. If
I know why they can't
people,
do that.
the people, and also they would actually change the way they're interacting with other people.
Yeah.
Because if you know little Johnny, you know Johnny's mother, you know Billy's dad, you're gonna act a little differently because you have a little relationship with
They
them.
do that right now, but only with certain people. Okay.
Oh, here it comes. Go ahead, Gino.
Okay. It's nothing foreign. It's nothing that they haven't done before. Look at our APD when it's South by Southwest, and I think we had F1. What were they told by our government? Serve as ambassadors.
Yeah, well,
So there they were, APD, gun, and as ambassadors downtown. Now, why couldn't
they
we
used to
carry
be.
that attitude just, a little bit further
bit further?
east? Why is it that we would get a little bit further east and that ambassador road just
Freddie, you talking about
goes
further
out the
west.
window,
Remember, he had
So-
shot one of my people the other day. We didn't riot. We told him, thank you. You got a car burglar out of the way.
Again, I'm a realist, so I don't believe in sitting down and talking for 20 hours, for example, about racism. I said, hell, just don't practice it. It's over.
I think it's funny how when
it's over.
when election
Yes,
season comes around.
2016 now, it's...
Well, it's just funny when election season comes around. You have the Travis County Democratic Party always wants to have these little forums
Yeah.
and talk about race relations
Yeah.
and things of that nature. They want to talk about police accountability and things like that. When you're in power, you're in control. Your elected officials, the Democrats, are sitting there at the Travis County DA's office. The Democrats are sitting there in city council who elected this police chief. Your Democrat is in the Travis County Sheriff's Department. All these different little agencies, which I love the Travis
They
County Sheriff's
gave
Department.
their
by the way.
Democrat sheriff hell.
Well, and I love the Travis County Sheriff's Department,
I
but
do too. It's great.
they're in that position. So since you're in that position, you're responsible for the effects of what's happening in this town. So if we have a police accountability problem, then you know what?
Who's in charge?
That is a
Democrats.
Democratic problem because the Democrats are in power, they're in control. So fix it.
Well, again, I don't know what the problem is, or why is it that I have to reference to my old buddy. I hope if he's watching, a shout out to Billy Cifuentes.
Oh, yeah. He's
We say, can't we have more like that?
Billy
And I know that there are other officers in other
the Democrats wouldn't elect him to the
communities,
city council.
in other communities that, yes, they're officers, but they know where they're coming from. They know that their role is limited. It's not a authority role. It's more of a, like the old Dorothy Turner used to say, we want protection as well. We want the police to protect us as well,
Well, when they do, they get sued for it.
because, I always, if I'm stopped at 1 a.m,
I think if your intentions are good, you wouldn't do anything wrong. You're not going to get sued. I think the problem is their intentions are not good.
The cops, I think they're going
Not
to get sued no
necessarily
matter what they do.
anyone that does something wrong, you're doing something wrong because your intentions aren't good. You know right from
Do
wrong.
you ever
We
really have a
learned-
problem with the cops?
Yeah, no, me.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had several problems with with APD. So, if your intentions are not good, then there's.
Oh, you got a whole car full of guns. I forgot. Yeah. Blackmail all these guns in the car.
I had problems the first time I drove into this town. First day I drove into this town, I was in a rental car and I got pulled up by an APD officer, and the officer actually called the rental car company to verify that I actually rented the car.
Yeah, that's driving walk
we
back
really
there.
don't want to go there. So,
Yeah, that could be some of that, but
trust me, there's a problem. Like I said, their intentions are not good. If their intentions were good, we wouldn't have some of the problems that we're having. We don't have these problems with Travis County Sheriff's Department. Any interaction I've had with Travis County Sheriff's Department has been a great interaction. You know why? They have great leadership. They're not top heavy like APD. APD is way too top heavy. You have these people that are getting paid this big fat salary.
they get paid very well.
Too many supervisors, too many chiefs, and not enough Indians. That's the problem. They need
well,
someone to go in there and overhaul that system. Maybe they should have the Travis County Sheriff's Department and APD merged together and have a metro police
metro.
department and have that person to be elected into office. But you know
Yeah,
what?
I like
I'm
that
just
part.
Michael Cargill. I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
10-4.
But, yeah, because, back
Joe
in the day,
Martinez, Travis County Sheriff candidate.
back in the day, about, 20 years ago when we were having the discussions about Amigo, the
Yeah.
old metropolitan plan back in the day that we
That's
used to
been a
say,
while.
We have APD, we have AISD, we have ACC, we have all these 5, 6 police.
The constables
That's back when
office.
me and you were on different sides. of
And
both
look,
these
and
things.
look what we're having. Crime is it's increasing. Here we are at North Austin. You got a serial rapist.
Yeah.
Where's the constable's
Northeast
office?
Austin up there?
Yeah, we have kids that are being kidnapped or followed, as they're going to school. Where are our constables at? We have 5 constable offices in this county.
They're too busy evicting people.
Where's your police department? Exactly. You know what? They're not protecting and serving. You know what? And so if you continue to elect these people into these positions that do not have your intentions in the good place, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get that serial rapist. You're going to get that person that's trying to take and kidnap your kids because you're electing the same criminals into office.
I hear you, and they've all got raises too because the constables now, they don't get to hand me down stuff in the sheriff's department.
Now, on the other side of the coin, we do have great, brave men and women that work for APD that are engaged in the community. That
And the constable's office, we got George Mouse III.
PAL, the Police Activities League.
I don't know. Hey, look at him funny like that.
The police.
I know he works for your boss, but
the police
he's engaged
activities.
in it anyway.
The Police Activities League.
Yeah. They've been on.
They've been on. That's a big experience, like that where you mentioned,
Yeah.
where there's that interaction.
That's true.
I remember when I used to work at the South Austin
Madness
Rec
Forum's
Center,
coming up. I missed the a coffee with a cop down my. They go to these things.
and
Hey.
they were working with parents and kids from Meadowbrook
Yeah.
and from Bowling Oaks, 2 low-income projects, if you will. And when they were there, when their presence was there, that parent was straight for whatever reason, So for that moment, if you will, if for whatever reason, there was a deterrent there. But at the other hand, they also got to interact with the officers. So it was this one-on-one relationship, and it wasn't an experience where I'm here taking your dad to jail.
10-4.
We're doing that, and that's what they have right now in boxing. They have a real good boxing program, the Police Activities League. So and the sheriff's department has Brown Santa. But unfortunately, you do have those 1, 2, or 3 that just take this role beyond the limits that is for.
I tell you, the Travis County Sheriff's Department, they do a really good job. Their interaction with the public is really good. Their
Well,
professionalism is totally
Having
different.
worked there in that environment, it's still country. Maybe that's why. So to them, it's still,
Yeah.
these are guys that are out in the rural area.
Because it goes back all the way to
Yeah.
the 1800s,
Yeah.
where Travis County was the biggest county in the state of Texas, and I hear you.
They're
so it's
small
a totally
patrol
different
force,
environment. So it's a totally different environment. So I guess
Yeah.
And so when
When
they
they rural-
interact with the public, it's just totally different feel.
because they've been out there in the country and been interacting with nothing but cows and horses, and all of a sudden they see a human being and said, "Oh my God," it's a
You
totally
think he said,
different.
man, come on.
I tell you,
out there.
I love the Travis County Sheriff's Department. I remember at one time we actually had the Travis County Sheriff's Department that patrolled my neighborhood, and then we got gobbled up. We were in the ETJ. We got gobbled up by the city of Austin. Now it's APD, and I wish we could go back to that time of the Travis County Sheriff's Department. Anytime we had problems, we called Travis County Sheriff's Department. They came out, they took a look at the situation, weighed it, and said, okay, this is how we should handle this situation. Totally different feel. Totally different atmosphere, totally different way of dealing with the public.
Well, we sure got all off. I want to talk all about all the classes and stuff you do,
Oh yeah,
but this is
Well, no,
I'd
but
like to see the
that's,
constables do
I
more.
would like to. If
yeah
you
the
would
constables
just-
should do it more. They're elected officials as well. They're responsible also of, they're the ones, the constables are the ones that are in the Texas Constitution.
And they're elected.
They are elected officials in the Texas Constitution, so they should do a lot more, step up to the plate and say, okay, there's something taking place in this county. On my watch,
Yeah.
I have kids being kidnapped or attempted to be kidnapped. I have a serial rapist on the loose. What am I doing? Oh, we're just eating donuts. We're not doing our
Eating
job.
donuts and serving eviction papers.
Exactly. They're not helping the public at all. They're not trying to do anything with safety, trying to cut down crime, and it's happening on your watch.
So is this? Are you saying that they're not fulfilling their constitutional role, or that they're only doing their constitutional role?
They're doing the very minimum that they
Okay,
need
so
to
they're
do.
just- yeah,
the
okay.
bare minimum.
Yeah, when the constables started, they were elected. They were under the sheriff.
Right.
And when you called 911, it used to go to your constable. They didn't have 911. You'd call your constable. You'd call your sheriff. Your constable was in, your precinct area. And that's why if there's, my neighbor's dog's barking in the middle of the night, you didn't call the cops for that, you call the constable. I don't know
Yeah. These
how we got so carried away into, the constable's a big time money thing, and now they, as we found out, now they got the raise, they don't take leftover equipment no more. And they all got these fancy cars. You seen some of them cars the cops, the constables are driving? SUVs and stuff like this. Think, my Lord.
that's your Travis County commissioner.
Great work if you can get it, I guess, huh?
That's where
No
it all
wonder
comes
they want
from.
to
So what
cheat the
other
voting
projects
machines.
are you working on? Or you tell us about the classes you give that you offer.
How you said Krav
Krav Maga.
Maga.
Right. So we what we done is
In
since-
Espanol too, right? You offer them in Espanol too?
Yes, I have. We have a Spanish book, and also have 2 employees that speak Spanish. So if you come during the week, we can help you out. If you come on the weekend, that it's a bit of a problem for us. And also, we're actually I'm working on something right now to provide handgun license courses to the deaf community as well. So I'm trying to get an interpreter, which
A
is
deaf guy with a gun.
yeah, which has turned out to be really expensive because they charge way more than I charge, for the class. So it's kind of hard for me to find someone to actually interpret, for the deaf community right now. So
Hold on, I'm stuck a little bit. A deaf guy with a gun?
yeah, what's wrong with that?
Ma says nothing, so I'm not going to argue with her.
Right. So we're trying, and I have people that want to take the class who are in the deaf community, but I'm just having a problem with finding an interpreter at a reasonable rate that I can afford, to actually provide them with a class. I can't pay my interpreter $800 when I'm only charging $65 for the class. That's not going to work out. So
Ma's going to come in here and tell me I never listened anyway.
Well,
they're very they're
While Ma's here, that was an excellent radio program you had on yesterday.
speaking of your interpreters, okay, here. I can tell them to shoot the chicken, okay? And I can thank them, and I can say you're welcome.
Hey, and we all know
Black helicopters.
That's what that means.
Those are black helicopters. Yeah, when Alex Jones used to do commissioner's court, the guy had to do black helicopters. So we know black helicopters.
You don't want to see the sign language that I know.
You know the international sign language that everybody knows.
Yeah.
so
we're
old
doing-
days coming out there.
So we're doing a lot of different classes. We have a beginning handgun class that we do to teach people how to shoot. We have a firearm safety course that's really popular with bachelor parties and bachelorette parties. We get a lot of people that are coming into Texas from other states, other countries, and they want to shoot guns. So the firearm safety course is really popular with them because they shoot 4 different type of firearms, and it includes the guns and the ammunition, and it's just really popular. And we have an instructor go out there and make sure they're being safe. And then we also have the handgun license course, which what that does is, prepares you to get your handgun license. And then we have the security classes. We have level 2, level 3,
You
level
got
4
a whole
private
list
security.
of them on your website.
Absolutely. We do the level 2, level 3 private security, level 4 is private security, level 2 is for security officers that do not carry a gun, level 3 is for security officers that carry a gun on the outside, and level 4 is for individuals that wear plain clothes. So we do those classes as well. And then the last group of classes that we do is the Krav Maga weapons self-defense course. Now that course is it's an awesome course because it gives you that real world situation. How are you going to draw that gun within 3 seconds or 4 seconds to stop that threat? What we do is we actually teach you self-defense, get you fighting, we get your heart rate up, get you pumped up really good, and then we work on your marksmanship because at that point there,
Yeah.
you're tired, you're shaking, you're sweating, and your heart rate's up really high. And now we're gonna work on that marksmanship, and so that's what those classes are for. And my instructors at Central Texas Gun Works are awesome instructors. One of my instructors is an Israeli Special Forces First Sergeant. Another one's a Marine Corps Recon. Another one's a Marine Corps Sniper. I served in the Army for 12 years, and like I always tell people, the easiest thing in the world for us to do is teach you how to kill someone. The hardest thing in the world for us to do is teach you how not to pull that gun out. So that's what our classes are for.
Well, you know what I want to go into is Krav Maga
Krav Maga.
for elderly and disabled.
Oh yeah. Well, we can put together like a class for the elderly, to help them because they're the ones that that are targeted as well.
I got a couple of volunteers you could practice with to help develop a course curriculum.
So the elderly are actually a group of people that actually are targeted because people say, hey, you have that check that's coming once a month or at the 15th or the end of the month or whatever.
I'm a target because I got this rubber hose up my nose.
Exactly, and they see you as
Easy mark.
easy target.
Social Security, got that check right in his pocket on 15th or 1st or whatever day it is.
And I have some great customers. I have customers that are 90 years old, 90.
So you don't need
80
me to
years
volunteer
old,
to be a guinea pig for curriculum research?
So if I carry a shotgun, everything else, nothing applies, right?
No, that is correct. So the funny thing about our gun laws here in Texas, when you walk outside your
Can't carry in a
door,
threatening manner.
when you walk outside your door and you're carrying a rifle or an AR-15 or 12-gauge shotgun, you're not committing a crime. I walk outside this door here, and I'm carrying an AR-15 in the open, loaded. That's totally legal in Texas, and you don't need a license for it. But when you walk outside that door and you're carrying a handgun, you need to have a handgun license. If it's concealed, it needs to be concealed. Can't see it by ordinary observation. If it's in the open, it has to be in a holster that fits on your belt, or a shoulder holster if you're going to carry it in the open. And you have to have a handgun license.
So where do you believe? Where do you see that coming from? Just an old cultural.
That goes all the way back to the 1800s, where at the end of slavery, you had the Jim Crow laws that say, you know what, we don't want blacks or free slaves to have guns. And then they said, well, but everyone else can have a rifle or a shotgun, because that's just like having a hammer, a tool. So they say, everyone's got a hammer inside their home. They have, tools or whatever. So everyone else can have a rifle or shotgun, but handguns, you can only have those at home. And then we sped forward, 1995, and we came up with the concealed handgun license program. They said, okay, in order for you to have a concealed handgun, you have to have a concealed handgun license, and it can only be concealed, of course. And you have, so that's how that worked. And then 2016, we came up with the open carry, and now you can open carry your handgun with a handgun license.
So the handgun is more convenient than carrying a shotgun.
It's more
Lighter.
convenient because it's smaller. And
Right,
it's
right.
lighter.
That's what I'm saying.
So the
So I
handgun's
can
more
walk
convenient.
into the state capitol with my shotgun and rifle.
You're supposed to be able to. That is correct. Whether they like you to do that, I do not. I've never seen anyone do it before, but it's actually legal. And there's two ways for like a private business, because we have open carry that went into effect January the 1st, 2016, and all of a sudden people lost their minds here in Travis County. Like, oh my God, open carry is going into effect. I got to post all these signs to prohibit license holders from carrying. Well, these people have been carrying the entire time. Okay, the way this works is anyone that owns a business can post a sign to tell license holders they cannot carry a gun. They can
It's
post
your business. You can do.
Yeah, you can post a 3.06
shirt, no
sign,
shoes.
which means no concealed carry of a handgun by a license holder, or you can post a 3.07 sign, which means no open carry. If you post both those signs, that means that a license holder cannot take a handgun inside. But let's say you wanted to say, you know what, I just don't want to see the gun. You post a 3.07 sign, which means no open carry, and that person can conceal carry that handgun inside there. But what about the long gun, rifle, or shotgun? Because you want to carry your shotgun, right?
Because I'll use it as a cane too.
Yeah. So in order for you not to be able to carry that shotgun in there, they got to put just a regular old no gun sign.
Period.
Yeah, just a no gun sign. That'll do. That's for the shotgun. And people forget about that, because I went to this church event over on East Austin on MLK, and they had a 3.06 sign, they had a 3.07 sign, on display there in the lobby. They said, okay, no guns are allowed here in the church, during this event. So what we did was I took an AR-15 and I put it in two different pieces, and I put it in a little bag. So while we're sitting there, I asked the APD officer. There was like 4 different APD officers there. There was 2 attorneys from the Travis County DA's office. And I turned around to the APD officer and I said, hey, can you grab that black bag for me? So he grabbed the black bag. I put it on the table, and I opened up the black bag. I took out an AR-15 that was in 2 pieces, put it together with 2 clips, held it up, and I said, okay. Now, we just talked about, having a handgun inside the church here. So there's a 3.06 sign posted. You can't carry a handgun. There's a 3.07 sign posted. You can't open carry a handgun. But that has nothing to do with this AR-15, which is totally legal in this church. In order to prohibit you from carrying an AR-15, you got to post a no gun sign or tell you verbally you can't carry. So that's how that stuff works. So got to understand the gun laws. Got to come to class.
Is there a special kind of holster you have to have for open carry?
No, just a regular
Okay.
holster, yeah, a holster that fits on your belt or a shoulder holster. It doesn't have to have any tension on the holster. But we always recommend that people have some
Yeah.
type of tension on that holster if you're going to openly carry that handgun, either a thumb release or some type of tension. We don't want that
That's
holster
only
sitting
common
there
sense,
just
you think.
with just gravity. So
10-4.
so you're better with your shotgun,
Okay.
because do you drink?
No.
You don't drink? Okay.
No, he doesn't drink.
Well, let's say you like to drink. When it comes to drinking, if you have a handgun license and you're carrying a handgun, the laws are much stricter with you if you're intoxicated. So if a person's intoxicated, they're a license holder carrying a handgun, and they're intoxicated, they're held to a higher standard. So they can be charged with a Class A misdemeanor. Okay, so being intoxicated, just intoxicated, no limit, no .08, no 7, no 6, no 5, no 4, or anything. If you have a handgun license, if you don't have a handgun license, it's .08. You got to go over the legal limit. But if you have a handgun license, an officer comes across you, you're a license holder, you're carrying a gun, you're intoxicated, unlawfully carrying, Class A, higher than DWI. So
Don't
but
carry
guess
no
what?
handgun while you're drunk.
But if you carry that shotgun, you're good to go, because that doesn't apply.
A bottle of whiskey on the side.
Doesn't apply to the shotgun.
As long as you're not
That's
driving, huh?
.08. Okay, so it's all about that
Right.
handgun.
All right. Come and
That's-
talk. Well, I just tried to. It was a great show you had. It was women on yesterday.
Yes, yesterday we had the ladies in the gun movement. I had ladies on from Girl in a Gun.
Yeah.
Juliana Crowder had her. Juliana was she's the founder of Girl in a Gun. She was on the radio show yesterday. Also, we had
Female instructors.
yes, Trina Spells from the African American Gun Club.
A black woman with a gun.
Yes, she was on the show because there are some black females out there that carry guns. And then we also had Christina.
We've had them serve in the military for many years. So.
Yeah, Christina Hodnett from Lone Star Gun Range. She was on the show. So we had all females on the show that are pro Second Amendment that carry guns right here in the Travis County area.
Lone Star Gun Range. That's
Lo-
it one way
Lone-
out the other side
You
of
know,
the window.
it's
Yeah, but Lone Star
interesting.
Gun Rights
It's
is
interesting
an
when
organization, but yeah.
minorities go to war.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they have to have guns and kill.
Well, hold on. White
Well,
folks go to war too.
No,
I mean,
but wait a minute. Yet, when they come back home and they have guns, they're perceived or look
you think they treat
different.
you like the cops treat Cargill?
no different. No different, like fear. Oh, he has a gun.
Yeah.
Yet, he was over at Vietnam with a gun and we didn't say, hey, he has a gun. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
And what I do to protect myself, if I'm concerned about certain things like law enforcement, what I do now, I make sure that in my vehicle, I have cameras in my vehicle. So
Yeah,
my
that
cameras
helps.
actually record audio and visual. I have 2 cameras in my
More
vehicle.
Gavinos, how do we come to this stage?
Yeah, exactly. So
telling you.
that's how I protect myself, legally, from whoever, law enforcement or whoever that may be. I have a camera that looks on the outside of my vehicle, camera looks on the inside of my vehicle, and it records audio as well. So,
Boy.
Well, I guess I guess it is a question because at the end of the day, all these gun laws and all this protection for those that have gun laws versus those that don't want it. At the end of the day, does it equal a much safer environment for a community or society that does bear arms or does carry
yes,
arms?
I think it does
Do
make.
you think?
I think more guns equals less crime.
Yep.
It does make us safer because when you're carrying a gun, you're actually carrying yourself in a different type of way. You're not. Carrying yourself like. Well, no, you're just not carrying yourself like you're a victim.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen today, and that's what we're talking about with the ladies yesterday. With the ladies that were carrying a gun, they're more confident in themselves. They don't need a man necessarily to protect themselves.
And here's my thing with guns. I've had more be pointed at me than I've pointed at other people.
Now you're going back to the old days, when we was on different sides.
But
And
that's why you understand.
Chicago
where I'm
and
coming
Houston.
And that goes back to like conflict resolution, not putting yourself in certain situations. Something gets bad, maybe it's time to leave. I'm sitting at a bar, I'm sitting somewhere, and things are getting kind of heated. Well, you know what? I need to remove myself from this position. I need to move, somewhere else. If I'm at a place where it's getting to that point,
That's
I don't
good.
want to put myself in a position
CHL
where,
training,
where
conflict
law
resolution.
enforcement, has to respond. So that comes with. Using some common sense.
And-
The first thing I teach people is use your head. whenever something happens, first use your head. Okay, something's going on now. Okay, I need to remove myself from it, or I need, to leave. I need to do something else. I need to communicate with this person to try to calm the situation down.
And you mentioned something real critical and very important, and you said that guns are not for everybody.
No, a gun is not for everybody.
Because
there's some people that
some
come
of
to
us
me.
that if I would, I'd
some-
be in Houston.
There's some people that come to me, and I would recommend they carry some pepper spray or a stun gun or something like that. And
No,
I
it's
say,
not New Lac chapter 12. It's okay. He's New Lac anyway. No, hold on here. We're gonna run out of time. Houston and Chicago is a good example of guns make you safer. Their cities very similar. Houston's full of gun shops, and they got a fraction of the murder rate Chicago does. And CHL, we got ours way back in the beginning in the mid '90s, and I was driving that truck. It made me a safer driver. You must avoid any kind of confrontation. There can be no road rage. I was Reginald Denny's what I call mine. After Reginald Denny.
You get stopped, something happens, you have a gun on you, that changes a lot of things. I tell people, you pull that gun out, when you pull that gun out, and
everything
use it,
changes.
your life is going to change, and your life will change forever. I promise you that.
Well,
will
it changed for
forever.
me a couple of times. When I
Yeah, wait a minute now. You've been felony free 10 plus years, so you're a good guy now.
You good.
2-3 more minutes.
And the most popular question that we get is, can convicted felons actually be in possession of a gun? The answer is yes. After 5 years after you've off paper as a convicted felon, you can have a gun. You can have a gun at home for personal protection. After 5 years, you just cannot purchase that handgun from a gun store or an FFL dealer. You have to get it as a gift. So yes, you can be in possession of a gun after 5 years, off paper. If you're a convicted felon.
Okay, so you can have a gun, but you can never be able to get a license.
You can't get a handgun license, but you can actually be in possession of a gun. You have to get it as a gift. So, that's one of our most popular
Can you
questions.
keep it in
that
the
we
car?
get.
So if I'm carrying
No,
it,
only at home.
Only at home.
only at
okay,
home.
so if something happens, they come to my home, and for whatever reason they have to search.
You can have it at home. That's legal for you
Tell
to have
them
a gun
where it
at
is.
home. After 5 years off paper, you just cannot buy that gun from a gun store or an FFL dealer. You have to get
Or,
it
a gun show.
as a gift. You have to get it as a gift.
Or a gun show.
Can't buy it, period. Person can't knowingly sell a gun.
about a shotgun?
A person cannot knowingly sell a gun to a convicted felon.
We got about a minute and a half. How about a shotgun?
And you know what's interesting is that
Yeah,
that
you can own- yeah,
like
handgun or
you
shotgun.
mentioned convicted felon could be a hot check.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 After 5 years, you're off paper.
Because I know that when we used to do bingo at the church, you recruit
That was
people to do volunteers.
quickly.
And we got Social Security numbers from volunteers. And I remember a couple of them coming back saying, no,
That was one of the questions on
They
his
cannot.
last week's radio show.
they cannot
What was about
volunteer
that?
to bingo because they're convicted felons.
Definitely tune into the radio show Come and Talk It. You can go to comeandtalkit.com. We talk about all things firearms. We talk about the
30
NFA
seconds.
process. We talk about whether you can buy a gun, sell a gun, all that good kind of stuff. We have attorneys on the show, so definitely listen into the show. It's on Talk 1370 AM, but you can go to comeandtalkit.com.
Well, don't say a stranger from the show come by. I know you become national, international, and all this other good stuff. But this is this was a base ground, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely. I love the Trailer Park Show.
Well, let's hope we get you back, and we'll be back next week with Uber Prop 1, Don Zimmerman, and who knows who else. Bye-bye, folks. Bye-bye.